So 50s and 60s were really laid back in Brisbane, and so I was fortunate to grow up with two parents who were great role models and taught me about ethics and loyalty and about working hard, and those things put me in good stead for the rest of my life, I think. They had two daughters and they said, school holidays, unfortunately we have to work through school holidays, so would you mind, we've bought 3 tickets for a show that's coming, would you mind taking the 2 girls, catch the tram, it's down in a place called Victoria Park, there'll be a tent there, it's called Disney on Ice. We caught the tram and got off at Royal Brisbane Hospital and we walked into this massive tent. And I just sat there wide-eyed. I was still in high school, but I looked and thought, how long's this been going on? This is fantastic. So I sat and I watched that Disney on Ice production with butterflies on trapeze, and that really gave me a taste for there's good stuff out there. So I sort of took I guess today you'd call it a gap year, but I didn't go and travel, I went and worked. My mother had taught dressmaking at both Clayfield College and Somerville House. And she was one of the first people on talkback radio. She was on 4BH on Thursday afternoons. And she said to me, well, you've got to do something, you know, that's good that you've got a job, but you've got to do something to better yourself. She said, why don't you think about doing that radio and TV course? I said, okay, I'll try that. It was a great fishing ground for corporates when they were looking for employees in different sectors. Jim recommended me and I went down and got the job. I hadn't been there very long and the Brookside Shopping Centre opened, which was actually managed by the Myer Corporation. So we went out there, and as we walked into this brand new, beautiful Myer store, the PR manager walked up and resigned on the spot. That's it, I've had enough, this is too stressful, I can't do this, I'm out. And he said, well, you now have yourself a brand new store and a shopping centre. So the next day, I reported to work out there. I was there for 7 months and Myer asked me to go and take on Chermside Shopping Centre. At Myer Chermside, I did a deal with the Edgeleys and brought Disney on Ice to the shopping centre. The centre was jam-packed, it was just extraordinary. And that was my first direct interface with promoters and with acts in working with Myer. Having worked with all the radio stations when I was in the shopping centres, I'd built some good friendships there, and I was approached by what was then the superpower music station in Brisbane, 4IP. Founded the Queensland Music Awards. We worked with a local promoter doing concerts all through southeast Queensland every weekend. We'd be in Stanthorpe, Dalby, Warwick, and then all across Brisbane, and they were called Rockorama. Gave me a taste of taking risk, standing on the door, collecting the money. And so all of that was a great foundation, but 4IP allowed me to bring it together. Where anything moved or there were likely to be people, 4IP was in it. It was just a really fortunate period of time. Australian bands were just becoming the thing. It was the big glam era as well. It was great bands like Sherbet and Darryl Braithwaite. When we did the Queensland Rock Music Awards, I used to book those acts. So I got to know those acts and they'd ring and say, hey, do you know where we could, we're going to need 6 roadies. Yep, I'll sort that. And then we're going to need a support act. Is there a Brisbane band? It'd be great. I said, great band in Brisbane called Railroad Gin, Carol Lloyd. Yep, I can sort that. So we sort of became the local go-to people for all of the promoters and the band's managers. And then we got that big call from Roger Davies, the manager of Sherbet, who still today is one of the world's great venue managers, based out of Sydney and Los Angeles. Roger gave me a call and said, listen, I'm taking Sherbet out on the back of this new album that's going to be huge. Would you set the tour up for us? Rob had a set of holidays coming up. I said, well, what are you going to do when you're 3 weeks off? And he said, I haven't worked it out yet. I said, why don't you come on the road with me? We're in the middle of a Sherbet Ted Mulry gang tour. He said, yeah, okay, I'll do that. So Rod and I ended up doing that for about 15 years. We took acts out on the road, not just Australian rock acts, Stevie Wonder and Dr. Hook, John Paul Young, Ted Mulry Gang, Dragon, Little River Band, Marsha Hines, AC/DC's first tour. The City Council had asked us, could you use this for anything? It's like, yeah, we could. Yeah, we'll find a use for it. And they allowed us to change what their steel structure was going to be for the roof so that we could rig big productions. And still today, that entertainment set is probably the best top end for rigging any arena in the Southern Hemisphere, I think. After we'd done all this work for the City Council for nothing, they told us that we'd have to tender for it. So we were happy to do that. We already had the first production booked into the entertainment centre, which was Torval and Dean. A couple of guys who we knew well, who were in the convention space, they'd thrown in a tender and they were going to use it as a convention centre. And the city really had difficulty in assessing, I think, these 2 bids. So we approached the other 2 guys who we knew and said, well, why don't you join us? So I'd put together a consortium of 5 of us, and then these 2 guys joined us. There were 7 of us, and it gave the city what they were looking for. A lot of Brisbane people have got a lot of opportunities. We've always believed we create careers for people, not jobs. We have people from Brisbane working all over the world. We've got a whole bunch of them in Hong Kong right now, opening the brand new 50,000 seat dome stadium, Kai Tak Stadium. The groundsman taking on one of the great challenges in Hong Kong of a turf surface that comes in and comes out over a synthetic playing surface, which is very rarely done, but we're going to see more of. He was our head groundsman. Malcolm was our head groundsman at Suncorp Stadium. I think the content that we're able to deliver makes a major difference for not just tourism, it's actually tourism and trade. At the Brisbane Convention Centre, we do an annual truck show. When it's in Brisbane for 4 days, the truck show's open, 90,000 hotel room nights from one event. That takes up every spare hotel room, Brisbane, down to the Gold Coast, up to the Sunshine Coast. So one event delivers 90,000 room nights in one city. Lose that event, take away 90,000 room nights from a city, and you probably lose 6 hotels. So from a tourism impact point of view, from an economic impact, major venues are critical. The thing in my career that most stood out about the importance of leadership was COVID. Cities and countries started shutting down. So I was on a call with senior execs from our company right across the world. So we had to lead our team through this. We were doing hybrid events, so we were effectively broadcasting to the world. Instead of 800 people at a conference, we probably had 8,000 watching. Well, we're lucky now that we're part of a global family as of this week, 412 venues around the world, 38 of the great stadiums of the world, hundreds of indoor entertainment arenas, 86 major convention centres, and hundreds of other types of buildings. But for me, that has just grown out of what we've done here in Queensland. And we're looking forward for the opportunity, not only just for our existing managed venues to be part of the solution for the Olympics, but also for us to be involved in some of the new venues. And I think that Queensland will then be really well set up for the long term for what these venues can deliver in our communities forever, I hope. I do quite a lot talking to university students, and lots of them say, well, how did you get from doing that to that? And I say to them, just say yes, particularly when someone says, hey, would you be available? We've got something happening on Sunday. And I said, yep, I'm up for that. So I just said yes to everything.